Hey guys, Arcade Adam back with another video. Shout out to my first 100 subscribers. And in this one today, we're going to do a tour of my arcade cabinet. I've been talking about it. I've shown some details. I've talked about some details. But I think today we're going to put it all together so you guys can see what I've come up with. So this is, as you've seen before, a Rec Room Masters cabinet kit. It's a 32-inch screen. I've got a Vitrolight bar LCD, custom LCD up top. I believe it's 38-inch in their product SKU. They custom make everything, so model numbers really don't matter, but it's 1920 wide and 300 pixels tall. So really cool, really tight. It even shows up as it's Samsung firmware on the controller chip. It's from China, not sure if that's true, but it looks great. No complaints. I've had it for like 2 years. It's awesome. Just wanted to show you guys, I was trying to show you my other light bar. So I've got my Wii sensor bar down at the bottom, and then I've got my aim track bar up at top, and it's behind the plexiglass, so it's real hard to see, and it's that shorter cased version, so it doesn't show up on camera too well. Here's my control panel. Got the 4-way controller, the spinner, the admin buttons. These are all Ultimarc GoldLeaf RGB switches. I highly recommend these arcade buttons. They're the best in terms of feel for me. They don't have that clunky click when you go down and hit the bottom of the switch because they're micro leafs, so they feel a lot like the original early to not early 80s, but I'll just say 80s arcade in general. A lot of those first arcade machines that when it was really getting popular were micro leafs or full leaf switches actually, and these have the leaf contained within the switch itself, so it's self-contained, goes in a modern arcade control panel, no problem. Get the best of both worlds, RGB and the leaf switch. So here's my coin door. Looks kind of normal when you open it, but as you open it even more, you see that I've adapted a USB hub. So this is a powered USB 3 hub. It's got a switch for every single port, and I've got them labeled so I can switch between my sensor bars, my aim track and my Wii sensor bar, and I can turn them on and off, because for me it interferes. And some of you guys with the larger arcades, and maybe you have the larger sensor bar, you're saying it's not interfering. So I've got to try that out, maybe get the different sensor bar. But I've got my Xbox adapter in there. I've got my new foot switch pedal in there. I move stuff around a lot, so I label the ones that I keep in there, like my sensor bars, but I'll throw in external drives, I'll throw in controllers, all sorts of stuff in there. It's just great to have like 8 ports of USB right behind the coin door. So I pulled the cabinet out so you can get a good look at the artwork. I've got Street Fighter on the left and X-Men on the right. The original theme was kind of X-Men versus Street Fighter when I had a real Marquee. So here's the back. I've got all my LEDs. These are old school RGB LEDs. They're not addressable. I've got a sound activated controller. So it is reactive to the cabinet, menus, games, sounds, whatever, but it is not linked up in software. It just responds to noise in the room. So it kind of helps with the emotion. Like if people are yelling and screaming and unhappy about the game, the cabinet reacts to that as well, so it's pretty cool. Now it's just going through other systems, and here's my furniture that I have next to my arcade. It kind of keeps all my accessories that aren't the aim tracks there. I've got the Wii guns, the steering wheel, little Pac-Man guy up top, that kind of stuff. I've got a light on for you guys so you can see all this stuff. Please excuse the dust. I wanted you to see this in its raw form because, like I said, I mess with this thing all the time. So on the left, we got our power wall. We've got 3 power strips and a power supply unit. That power supply is just for the arcade guns. It's a big old 36 volt, 250 watt unit. That bottom one, the white power strip, is a smart unit, so it's what turns on the rest of the arcade when the computer turns on. And those top 2 ones are plugged into it just for expansion. So those are my drives. That's an 8 terabyte, that's a 16 terabyte, and those 2 up in the upper left there are 2 more 8s. So I've got over 40 terabytes in this thing. Got a 250 gig NVMe solid state running the OS, GTX 1070 video card, Intel i5 7600K, I believe. Look in the description to make sure, keep me honest. Another SATA SSD to launch all my artwork and have Launchbox launch from. Hyper 212 cooler, B250M Intel motherboard. Got my aim tracks on these gun holsters in the back. And there's a look at the cabinet as you back up. I've got the cabinet on those furniture sliders, those little circles you see in the carpet. It helps move it around a lot better because the rest of the cabinet is completely flat on the bottom. And depending on the weight distribution, she'll dig into the corners if you don't have something to to support it. But you see over there on the left, I've got my 2 arcade stools. They're height adjustable. I usually have those in the front of the cabinet for when I'm working on it. You know, I pull the keyboard and mouse out from the front drawer there. Here's the other side of my artwork. Like I said, it was X-Men. I really love this side of the artwork. I'm kind of hating my room layout a little bit because I don't get to see this artwork as much in detail. It's kind of tucked in behind the couch. Maybe someday I'll relocate this thing, but for now, she sits over here by the behind the couch next to the arcade furniture, and yeah, it's looking great. I'm trying to see if I can get that light bar up there. I don't know if you guys can catch that or not. It doesn't show up too well on camera, but in person. But yeah, I just love this X-Men artwork. Got some Nightcrawler, Gambit, Cyclops, Wolverine. And there's all the Wii accessories and nunchucks and everything that I throw at this thing. It's really great having both aim tracks and the Wii remotes on here. Little sneak preview of what's to come. Got some Xbox. Like I said, the original Xbox source code leak, so expect that emulation to get real good real quick. Just showing off some 360 stuff as well. That's up and coming. You know, not a lot of media is out there. Like you've seen, there's not some video snaps for things, and also emulation just isn't there yet too. So it's coming. It's not as good as a PS3, but it's still there. Some of this stuff is playable. I think I saw, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but Chihiro hardware, which is basically an Xbox 360 with some more RAM. It's what played the Virtual Cop 3 game in the arcades was basically a modified Xbox 360. So that's working. Like if you really were willing to dig deep, you can get that working on your machine. I should be doing a video on that shortly. I'm going to do another video on some control stuff with a RetroArch and things like that, where we can get much better emulation on N64 and get the better N64 controls, get 2 analog sticks working at the same time using that emulator. So best of both worlds for N64. Look for that coming up soon in a video. The other thing I wanted to show off here is for those of you that have a Megacade. I know that's very popular on YouTube right now. I have these monster arcades. I just wanted to give you a size comparison. So like I said, I got a 32-inch screen and a 38-inch light bar screen up top. That piece of cardboard is the rough dimensions of a Samsung 50-inch screen. And that's what's in those Megacades. Like, so it gives you a good idea of what's going on to scale. Like, it is a crazy large arcade. And I'm looking to upgrade. I'm thinking about it. I'm planning for it. That's why I made that thing. I wanted to see what that would even look like in this space in my game room. And it's a beast for sure. I mean, check this out. Like, I've got it lined up to the T-molding up there, and she's sticking out a good foot. You know, this cardboard is not to scale. It's got probably half an inch plus or minus on all dimensions, but you know, that's it. I just wanted to show you my arcade, kind of give you a big tour, and if you got any questions, you know, I'll answer them down in the comments below. And thanks for you guys getting me to 100 subs. Video. So for this one, just a quick one, I thought we'd do a quick